All right, let's get started then. So you will need a towel from your bathroom or a resistance band. I know a lot of people have got red resistance bands hanging around. It was one of the only things that we could get hold of in lockdown. So resistance band or towel, it doesn't matter which one that you use. If you're using a towel, you just need to roll it up like that. So all the way down. And that then creates that same tension that you get out of a resistance band. So I'll just give you a couple of minutes to grab that if you haven't grabbed it already. I'm rushing around this morning. So we've got some single leg squat variations, some single leg deadlift variations, and some push-up variations. So there's options for all. So just make sure that you pick the ones that suit you the best. There's quite a lot of balance involved today, but that's fine. That's why I've got this chair here, because there is an option to obviously just sturdy yourself on a piece of furniture. So sofa, chair, sideboard, TV cabinet, anything that's not going to go sliding around as you put your weight on it will be absolutely perfect. So have something, even the wall will be great, just to steady yourself on, just for that point of contact so that you don't feel as wobbly, if that's the option that you want to take. Make sure you've got some water and that the space around you is free from trip hazards and everything like that. So we'll get warmed up and then I'll explain a few other things as we get into it. So we're just going to start off in a squat. So feet under the hips or wherever feels comfortable for you. And we're just going to squat, just a normal squat, nothing fancy. And we're going to start with a little variation that we were using in the first session. Obviously, it doesn't matter if you haven't done that first session, because we're just working on the same skills, but in different ways. And then each class progresses throughout. So we're going to take that squat, and now we're just going to lean it into the right hip. So just leaning it off to the right, so that most of the weight is going in that right leg. And you might feel that hit the glute slightly differently. And then one more, we're going to go off to the left. So this is just an example of changing the biomechanics of the movement, which then make the muscles react differently. And it's just something that we play around with throughout the class. Lovely, leaning into that left side. One more. And then take a little break. So that brings me on to my first point about how to make this class work for you. So range of motion. When we talk about reducing range, we mean if somebody's squatting, they might squat here, but for someone else, that might be here. So that's reducing the range, or modifying. So that might be squatting to a chair, if that feels more comfortable. So making sure that you always reduce the range or pick an exercise modification that feels good for you. So that's number one. Going on to our next little easing in exercise. Just going to take a step forward. Both hands are going to reach down over the toe and then bring it up and step back and then swap sides. Left forward, reach down to the toes, up over the head, and then step it back. Moving nice and slowly. Let the eyes follow the hands. And again, just thinking about that range. So although I'm touching the floor, someone else might feel comfortable here and here. It all is the same movement and it all counts. So just leaning over that front leg, taking it up over the head and swapping sides. So throughout the class as well with different movements, I might give you a rep range to work to. So I might say we're going to go 4 to 6 reps on the right leg. And that's another way that you can make this work for you. So you might decide that 4 reps is enough. You might even decide that 3 reps is enough. That's absolutely fine. Or you might be going towards that top end, 5, 6 reps or even more. So that rep range is always just a guide. It's not a strict set of rules. So just do what feels good for you. Lovely, one more. Lovely, now we're going to take those feet really wide. So a bit wider than that squat was under the hips. And we're going to reach down. If we were stood on a clock face, we're going to be reaching towards 12 o'clock. And what I want you to do is I want you to shift your hips away from your hands. So taking them almost like your hips are running away from where you're reaching to. Reaching down towards 12. Standing nice and tall in between. And the last way, the last R is rest. So rest whenever you need to, not when I say. Because again, you know what's best for your body. Lovely. One more. And then on this next one, we're going to take it round on the right foot. So where 3 o'clock would be on that clock, rotating right round and reaching over the side of the foot. Again, just getting those hamstrings ready for what's coming. One more. And then we're going all the way around to 9 o'clock. It's got a nice satisfying pop there somewhere. I think it was somewhere around the hip. Lovely. One more of those. And then we're going to do a walkout. So walkout's not for everybody. So I'll demonstrate the walkout and then show you an option that you can go for. So hands can meet the ground however you want them to. So you don't have to keep your legs straight. You can bend straight down, a bit like a frog, to do your walkout. So hands meet the ground and you walk out into a full plank position. Here, there is the option to just bring it to the knees and then walk it back in. Or you can stay in that full plank position and walk it back in. If walkouts are not for you, just grab a piece of furniture and just get yourself into that high plank. Maybe let the hips drop a little bit, stretch out the abs and get a nice bend through the lower back, a bit like cobra in yoga, and then stand yourself up nice and tall. It's going to have a similar effect on the shoulders and everything else. So choosing your option between 4 and 6 walkouts. So picking your number, starting whenever you're ready. Hands meet the floor or the furniture. Walk it out. Nice high plank, or pop the knees down. And then walk it back up. Stand nice and tall, make sure you breathe. These always make my heart rate go so high. Lovely, standing tall. Lovely. I can't count, so I don't even know how many I've done already. I think I'm going to go with one more, and that's me done. And then we'll grab a little drink and we'll move into that first set of skills that we've got planned. Lovely. Grab yourselves a little drink. So the first little single leg squat we've got is known as a skater squat. And it's where one leg is floating off to the back. Now, some people like to have that leg going out to balance. I prefer it to hook the other leg. So I find the closer I almost like slide it down the other leg. The closer I keep it to that standing leg, the more balanced I feel. So it looks like this, foot off out the back, and the leg that's standing, that's supporting us, is squatting down as far as it can go, and then standing back up. Here are some options. Take the toe down, just right on top of the toe, just so you've got that point of contact again. You're still going to be putting all that weight into this leg and back up, or piece of furniture, just to hold on to, just to support yourself in the bottom of that movement, and then standing back up again. So we're just going with the skater squat to get used to it. 4 to 6 on the right leg, 4 to 6 on the left leg, all on one leg first. So again, choose your option. Sometimes people like to start like this, and then if they feel themselves on a wobble, you can just pop the toe down to balance. Same as if you set yourself up next to a wall, you could try that full version and then just have that wall there to catch you if you start wobbling. So in your own time, going for 4 to 6 reps on each leg, moving as slow as possible. So no rushing here, no marathons, just trying to get all the weight in that leg and work it as hard as possible. So I like to bring my arms out for balance. Standing up, and you can pop that foot down in between. You don't need to stay on the same leg the whole time. So, and this, we're just going to be adding different skills to this throughout. Taking a second between each rep, if that helps. You're probably thinking these are already quite difficult on their own. They are, but we'll get through it and we'll mix it up. And it will just hit a little bit differently. Right, one more for me on the right leg. And back up again. Awesome. Let that right leg have a little bit of a shake out. Onto the left, and you might notice a difference between one side of the body and the other. Normally one side of the body likes to do the balancing and the other leg likes to support. My left leg doesn't like to be the one that's taking on the load. So for this instance, I might just set myself up next to the wall just in case I have a little wobble. I'll see how we go. So 4 to 6 on the other leg. Moving as slowly as possible. Just to get us used to this skater squat before we start playing around with it. Not doing too badly on the left, not too bad. Especially because it's quite early in the morning, I'm quite impressed with myself. 2 more for me. Awesome. Rest after you've done your reps. And we've got single leg deadlift to start. Not to start, next. Single leg deadlift next. So single leg deadlift, when we did them in a B stance in the first session that we did. But this time we're going to let that leg come off the ground, chest tips forward. Again, here are those options. Setting yourself up next to that bit of furniture so that as you let that leg out of the back, your hands can just catch you on that bit of furniture and you can tip yourself back and bring that leg back to the floor. Or again, if you want to try and go for a bit more of a free version, just setting yourself up next to the wall. Chest comes forward as the leg comes out the back. Now, it doesn't matter if you want to keep that leg bent or keep it nice or straighten it out at the back. The focus is on this hamstring that's on the floor. So choosing your option. I think I'm going to go with a chair to begin with. It's been a while since I've done these. And again, we're starting all on one leg, 4 to 6 on the right leg, 4 to 6 on the left. So chest coming forward, release that leg out the back. Chest almost becomes parallel with the ground. And then bring yourself back up and into the next rep. Make sure you're breathing. So this is all definitely very hamstring and glute heavy. So letting the elbows bend just to get that chest nice and parallel to the floor. I'll do one more for me on this leg. Moving nice and slowly. My nose is almost tipping towards that chair and then swapping legs. The knee in the supporting leg is soft. So we're not locking it out quite, we're just keeping it with a little bit of softness in that knee. And again, we're just seeing how our body fares at this, because then we'll start playing around with it a little bit. One more. This leg is not as happy. Awesome. Grab yourselves a drink. And on to our push-ups. Again, here's your options. Piece of furniture that's not going to go anywhere, works really well for our little push-up. And the aim is we're going to go as slowly as possible as we go down. Now, if you get here and you get stuck, just bring a knee in and bring yourself back up, and then stick that foot back out again. Nice and slow. Knee in if you need it, and then reset. Same principle on the ground. So setting yourself up either on the knees, like this, trying to get the shoulder right over the hands so that your hands aren't miles and miles out in front at the moment. Shoulders over the hands, coming down as slowly as possible. And then if you need a little bit of help getting back up, do whatever you need to do to reset. Same in that full push-up position. To gently guide yourself to the floor. So pick whichever option you're going to use. We're going for 4 to 6 of these as well. Just a little tip, if you want to try it full and you get to a point where you get stuck and you feel like you're just going to hit the ground, this is what I get my clients to do in sessions. If you get to a point and then you think, oh no, everything's going to fall, just let your hips drop and then let your chest follow on. And then it just sort of reduces that flop effect at the end, which can feel a bit unpleasant. So here we go, 4 to 6. Just focusing on that lowering phase. Not too precious how we get ourselves back up. Yeah, and these are very tough. It's like we're doing like the toughest bit first. Then 4 to 6 or wherever you are in that range. I think I'm going to go one more. That's 5 for me. That's plenty of these. Lovely. So last week was the first week that I'd done push-ups in ages, or a style of push-ups. And my arms were so sore that I couldn't style my hair, because I couldn't lift them up. So I took precautions. I did my hair last night instead, which is a good tip. So if it's hair wash day today, get it done as soon as you can before your arms seize up and you can no longer put them above your head. Okay, so band or towel next. Going back to our skater squat. Now what you'll find here is when your brain knows that it's got to do something different, you'll probably get less range in the leg. That's totally normal. So you'll see it happen to me. We're going to go into that skater squat and we're going to just press the towel forward, bring it back to the chest, and then stand up. So my brain, knowing that it's got to take that towel out and back, it's not going to let me get as much depth on that squat. And that's completely normal. But what it is going to do is get the shoulders involved in that movement, especially if we pull out on that towel. And it's going to keep us in a bottom range just for a little bit longer as we press that towel and then back up. So it's complete distraction. If you don't want to have your hands on a towel and you still want to use a wall or the chair, it's going to go like this. So squatting down, place your hand. While you're here, just fingertips on it. While you're here, you're just going to push one hand forward and bring it back and then stand. Same on the wall. Squat down, hand forward, hand back. It's going to be the same principle. It's just going to keep us in the bottom of that squat for longer. So between 4 and 6 on one leg and then swapping over, squatting down, press that towel out, back in, stand and reset. So popping that foot down in between. Taking it nice and slow and just remembering to pull apart on that towel or that band. And choosing your rep range. Lovely. I'm going to go 2 more. Letting that let the leg float out of the back. Awesome. Little rest and then swapping legs. Taking your time. My left leg is not as happy to go as low. Standing up, popping that foot down, and just standing nice and tall in between, just so that body fully relaxes. Lovely. Those little push-ups have built some heat in my shoulders, which is now continuing as I pull apart on this towel. Just keeping it at chest height, pushing it in and out. Back up, and 1 more for me. Of course, stop whenever you've done your reps. Lovely, relax it there, nice. Keeping hold of that towel, we're going to do really similar in our single leg deadlift. So we're adding the same skill variable. We're going to release that leg out, and we're going to press that band forward and back, and then bring it up. Same options apply. Chair, 1 hand out, wall, 1 hand out. Okay? Again, 4 to 6 on each leg, going nice and slowly. So even if you don't want to hang on to the wall and you want to try the towel, even if you just tip here, reduce range, find a sweet spot and get that press. That's brilliant. All right? Let's go for it. Probably see lots of wobbles here. And if you do have a wobble, just pop that foot down and then reset. So get that chest pointing downwards. There's a nice cue for this. If your nipples were lasers, you want to be lasering the floor. So nipple lasers down at the ground. That's one that you'll take away with you, I'm sure. Quite proud of myself, actually. I feel like we've got through quite a lot before I said something weird, which is a record for me. So standing nice and tall in between, keeping that towel at chest height, pressing it straight forward, and then back up again. Lovely. Little rest and swapping legs. So because we've added this variable now, it will make the normal version of this seem less difficult. So it's interesting, if you later on, if you go back to the version that we just did in the last round, it will feel less weird and less wobbly, because now we've done it and added in a completely new thing. So if we take that towel away, the brain will go, oh, this is actually a lot easier than I remembered from a minute ago. And that's kind of the point. That's the nice thing about adding different skills to different movements. Left leg is definitely struggling a little bit. That's fine, just going to reduce that range. Go for that press, like I say, and find that sweet spot of where I can just about balance. And then do that press. I'm going to go 1 more. Lovely, lovely. Rest it there, grab a drink. So we're going to play with our push-up hand position on this next one. So I'm just going to set up facing you. So what we're going to do, same again, trying to take that lowering phase as slow as possible, but we are going to try and push up now as well. So that means you might lose some range, which is absolutely fine. I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to put it at 12 o'clock on our little pretend clock face. And then I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to pop it on 3 o'clock. And my hands are still facing, fingers are still pointing up. And here I'm going to go for 4 of my best push-ups. And I'm going to do them on the knees, because that's going to give me the best chance of getting a bit more range, but you can do them full. You could even do this on your chair. Just move the hands either on the knees or in full. Just pop those hands in those different positions. I'm going to set up on the floor. So keeping the hands here. Okay, I'm just going to hit those joints slightly differently. I'm just going to still lower straight down and then push myself back up. It's fine if you're here and that's all the range that you've got. Just go with whatever works for you. So round 4 of these, hands staying in this position, off you go. And what we've done here is one arm is taking a little bit more weight than the other. Awesome. When you've done your 4, or as close as possible, give yourself a little rest. Then we're going to do those hands on the other side. So now my right hand is on that 12 o'clock. My left hand is over on that 9 o'clock position. So it's just imagining that you were just in the middle of a giant clock and using those numbers just to position the hands. If anything feels slightly weird, just bring your hands a bit closer, because you might have stepped them a little bit wide. That's absolutely fine. Again, in this position, 4 again. Awesome. When you've done your reps, grab yourselves a drink. I really feel that in the arm that is in the other position, taking a lot of the load. Okay, grabbing that towel or that resistance band again. So we're adding a little bit more to that skater squat. This time, band is going to come out as we lower. So as we lower down, band is going to come out, and then we're going to try and take it round over that front leg. So it's a little rotation like this, but your body might think that's a bit weird, and then it might just let you go that far. Again, that's absolutely fine. Pulling the power on that towel, rotating over the leg. If you want to still do your chair, just reach your arm round. Same if you're on the wall. Hold onto the wall, and then as you come down, just take that arm round, bring it back, and stand up. So those are the options. Should all make sense by now, hopefully. If not, I'm sorry. You can give me a message and tell me that I don't explain things very well. It's all feedback that I need. So down to the skater squat, and then rotating that band round and trying to get it all nice and smooth. 4 to 6 on the right leg. Taking your time, starting whenever you're ready. Let the hips shift wherever they need to go in order to get that movement. Right, sometimes I feel like my leg that's floating almost like wants to come round and meet my hands. That seems to make sense for my body if that leg also shifts a little bit. Taking nice breaths. Again, you might not get much range in that leg as we've added another skill to it. I really feel that in my calf as well, as it's working really hard to give me some balance. We'll have calf gains after this. One more for me on this leg. Oh, a little wobble there at the end just to defeat me. Little break and then swapping sides. Again, pulling apart on that towel if you want to maximize the full body, getting those shoulders involved. Swapping legs. Rotating round, standing up nice and tall. Reset if you find yourself wobbling. I just wobbled then, so I'm not going to carry on with that rep. I'm going to do it again. I do normally have a little bit of music playing on these classes, just so people don't have to listen to the sound of me breathing heavy. But Freya was playing with the iPad. I didn't want to take it off her. I thought we'd live with it. And the playlist I played last week, some of the music was a bit not great, so I need to find a better playlist before the music can make a return. One more for me on this leg. Oh, and again, just a little wobble to defeat me right at the end. So we're going to do the same in the single leg deadlift. We're going to release that leg out towards the back, tip the chest forward, and the band is going to come round that front leg and then bring it back in. So you might notice, because we're doing that nice bend in the side, this is getting the core more involved as well. So it's a really full-on, full-body movement, just like the skater squats were. Options are the same for the chair. Just bring the hand round and back. Same for the wall. If you're holding onto that wall, just get that hand round and back again. So there are your options. So do let me know how you're getting on in the chat box if you want to. Because I really don't mind people not joining with cameras, but sometimes I'm going, I wonder if everybody's okay, or if they look like they're really angry at me. But again, 4 to 6 on each leg. Releasing that leg out the back, letting that band come forward for balance. And then just twisting it round and back up. Standing nice and tall in between. Let that chest fall down. Oh, I've hobbled. Start again. Let that chest fall down. I think it's quite nice to see sometimes as well that other people do find balancing quite difficult. A lot of people get really turned off, especially in things like lunges. If they start to wobble, they get really upset. It's actually quite normal. And the wobbles are good. It means that all of your muscles are responding to that stimulus to try and keep you upright. So don't be afraid of the wobbles. Okay, one more for me on this leg. I'm going to have to go again. So it's really challenging stuff. My balance is not great, but I would like it to be better. Hence these lovely exercises. So I'm going to start my reps on the other leg. And I'm not letting my back leg shoot out as far as it was previously. Again, my body's just automatically reducing that range for me so that I can get that bend in. Lovely, we're nearly there. I'm going to go one more on this leg As always, I've completely lost count. I can't even count to 6, but never mind. Too busy concentrating on what I'm doing. Like I said, rep ranges are just a guide. Your body doesn't really know the difference between, well, your muscle doesn't automatically know the difference between 6 reps and 8 reps. It's just whatever feels good. Go with that. Okay. Back down for those push-ups. Again, those options apply. We're going to go for the same hand positions, but the hand that comes onto 3 o'clock, you're going to turn it round as much as you can. Sorry, we just had a little comment in the chat. Let me just read what it says, in case it's desperately important and pressing. Oh, yes, it is good to know that other people wobble, isn't it? I thought it would be. So turn that hand round as far as feels comfortable. Again, it's just changing up the biomechanics of that movement. Anecdotally, if you are somebody who feel like your wrists hurt during push-ups, playing with the different hand positions in the range that feels comfortable for you can really help. So, and it's just tightness. So tightness is that feeling that's personal to you in your joints. So just playing around with things is just a way that we can help ease some of that feeling up. So this one will feel a bit weird. And again, you won't get much range in it, but just go with it. Go with it as much as possible. Get that hand round. Trying to face those fingers in the other direction and letting the elbow bend where it needs to. 4 reps here. Popping the chest down in between. Lovely, resting after your 4, and then we're going the same on the other side. Of course, if that doesn't feel right for you at all, you can just have the fingers pointing out. You've still changed them up, but trying to turn them around as much as possible, and then letting your chest sink down in between. You might find, especially if you've not done one of my classes before, that you get sort of aches in places that you've never had them before, which is nice and novel at first. Awesome. We have got 2 more variations left. Just how are we doing for time? Oh, perfect. So we're going to finish off. In fact, I'm going to sack my towel off this altogether. We're going to put the skater squat and the single leg deadlift together just to finish. So showing you on the chair, because it's quite difficult, you're going to bring yourself into that skater squat, hold on to balance if you need to, press a hand forward, bring it round, bring it back, then you're going to take it up and back down, and then we're going to straighten this leg as if we were almost going straight into that deadlift. Straighten the leg, chest tips forward, back into the skater squat, and then we're going to repeat the hands. Out, round, back in, and up. So this glute is going to be taking all of the load. I originally did this with a towel when I was planning this class, but obviously then I didn't know how my body would feel after doing the whole class. And I think my legs would just cry if I tried to do this without the chair. So it's like a little, we've deviated from the plan by listening to our body in the moment. Perfect learning point for you all. It's okay to go off plan if your body is saying no. But we're still going to do a variation of it. I'll just go through that again. So skater squat, pop your hand down, torso staying relatively upright, hand press out, round the back up, above the head, and then you're going to straighten up, tip that chest forward, bring that leg back down to bent, repeat the hands, and I'll talk you through it as we go. So I know that's a lot to remember. So we'll do 2 rounds through on the right, trying to keep that left leg off the ground the whole time, okay? So this is the last thing we've got to do. Just going to blast that glute before we say goodbye. Okay, skater squatting down on the right leg. Hand on the chair for a little bit of perch. Press the hand forward, straight out in front of the chest. Bring it round the back. Back forward. Up and down. Now, tip chest forward, straighten the leg. Bend that leg again, chest up. Repeat the hands. Round the back. Forward. Up over the head. And down, then bring it up. Oh, that is a lot of work for that glute. Next side, left leg. So do the opposite hand as well. So your right hand is going to be supporting. Skater squat down. Grab something just for that balance. Press the hand forward, round the side, back, above the head. Chest down, straighten the leg. Bend that leg again, repeat the hands. Press it out, round the back, and above the head. Nice. And relax. Whew. A lot of work for that glute. So, really big well done for getting through that this morning. I know it was quite early on a Saturday. I'll just stop the recording so that no one has to listen to my my absolute ramble. But yeah, if anybody watching the replay has any questions about any of the exercises, then please do send me a message. I've lost where to actually stop recording. Oh, me and technology. Here we go. Stop recording. Right, have a good day, everybody who is watching the replay.